Okay, guys, good morning. We're gonna get this thing started, and it is maybe an hour later than I would have liked to start. It's for a good reason. Um, it's not like I was asleep or anything. I don't get any sleep around here. You guys should know that by now. Sleeping is a waste of time, a necessary waste of time. But I I had a lot going on, and I needed to take care of something before I got on here. Take care of two things, um, and get the process going on them. And they're both hey, related to this channel, so it's for a good cause. Let me just straighten this area up a little bit. It seems to be upside frickin' down a little bit. As you know, I distract easy. And the problem with being distracted is you don't get things accomplished. And I didn't get on here not to get things accomplished, so get these things out of the way. So it seems like every time I get something on, I order something, it always arrives on a day that I have something else to do. It never arrives on a day that there's not much going on. So I had ordered something, I'm going to say a month ago, something like that. And I just did the unboxing of it. You'll see it there. But I got it yesterday. And we had a game night scheduled for yesterday. So I needed to knock that out, do that unboxing, go to the game night, film the game night, come back last night late. I edited this video of the unboxing and let it process its thing. And hold on, I'm trying to do two things at once, and I am no good at that. I can do it, but I can do a crappy job at it, so I'd rather not do something if I can't do it right. Let's do this. So your questions will come up here on the computer. But yeah, so after you film the video and edit it and everything, it has to process, then you upload it. And even after it's uploaded, YouTube gets its grubby hands on it. It still is going to take some processing time so that you guys can see it in HD. HD just being a fancy name for 1080. And, so I went to bed. And it processed over the night. And I edited this. I did the final details on it this morning. It's up. It's an unboxing that I did. Go ahead and check that out. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And so then I had also edited the video that we did, the game night video, which was it was awesome. It was an awesome night. It was we were play testing a thing we like to call the Blind General, and it's just DBA with some other rules. And wasn't my idea. It was actually Scott's idea, and he says was got the inspiration from another game. But in a nutshell, you roll your own pips, and then you put them down, and you don't know how many you rolled, and your opponent will tell you when you're out of them. So you have to prioritize all the decisions you make. And it was awesome. It made the game better. For those of us that are experienced, it made the game a lot better. So just like I've mentioned before, that Mitch really likes Collision Course and would love to play nothing but Collision Course. I would love to play nothing but Blind General. It made the game better. For those of us that are experienced, that video's not up yet. It's already been edited. It's already been uploaded to YouTube. It's just doing its little YouTube magic. So that could take, it's a fairly long video. It could take 5 hours or so. So I'm not waiting 5 hours to do this. So it'll come out later today. You'll see it. Check it out. It's about 3 hours long, something like that. A little more than 3 hours long. We did 3 games. 3 different match pairs. Mitch and I, check them out. It's freaking awesome. You guys should try it at home. Now, the only catch that we did is that we made it that each one of our armies had to have at least one element that cost 2 pips to move. Because if everything costs 1 pip, then you're not going to, you're going to have enough to do to not get hung out to dry. So it was definitely a challenge. Kind of took the game to the next level. Well, enough about gaming. Let's get some painting done. So we wanted to do a couple things to that we left off. We did the video of how we varnish these. I got asked so many times about it. I'm like, I'm just going to make a video about it. It's just easier than beating your head into the wall. And it's so easy. I don't know why so many people are having issues with varnishing. But we're going to go ahead and goop these 2 stands. And then we're going to start working on these papal troops that are right here, which is 2 stands of spear and 3 stands of skirmishers. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to do first. Jury's still out on that. But no, we're not going to paint them all at once. We're still going to do one at a time because I want to have something to show for it. So, Gooplandia. Let's get our gooping material. Liquitex resin sand. And I'll mention one other thing on the varnish video that I did. It doesn't matter what brand you use for the varnish. I started off using Tester's Model Master. It used to come in a silver. I don't think I still have any of those cans, but it used to have like a silver wrap. There's still the small size cans that are about this size, and they're not as thick, but they're about this tall. And throughout the years, they have added lines, discontinued lines. I don't think those same cans are available anymore. I know they're a pain to mail order them. Like, I can't buy them for somebody and then mail them to you because the postal service it's flammable and explosive. And yeah, if you throw it into a damn fire, I mean, so's your body. You'll burn to a crisp, So, but I can't just say, hey, send me, however much it costs, and I can find them here in our stores. So you guys have to go hunting for it. I know that some of those lines of the model of Tester stuff has been discontinued. I understand they got bought by Rust-Oleum, and Rust-Oleum has discontinued some of their lines. So it doesn't have to be a Tester's brand thing. Just get a good quality. Don't go and buy El Cheapo. I wouldn't use Krylon. It may work, but it may not. I wouldn't use whatever the Walmart brand is or what have you. Go get you something good so it doesn't ruin the paint job that you did on it, that you spent all the time on it, and give that a shot. Check out that the varnishing video if you're having issues with that. If you like what you're already doing, I would continue doing that. I mean, the whole purpose is just to protect them and to give them a flat finish. That's it. If you're already doing that, then, you don't need to watch my video. I am going to go ahead and pull these little rocks up here because I have been known to forget to put them on until after the stand is done, and then it's kind of a pain. Let's see, this isn't it. We've got one of these that's open. Excuse my incompetence. It's a good thing I got organizers and stuff, and this would be, here we go. This would be worse. I see some people's painting areas, and I'm like, man, how do you guys do anything right? Because mine's pretty well organized, and I still feel like I get pulled in different directions. All right, so let's go ahead and put this this goop here. But the blind general was freaking awesome. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievably awesome. And there's a lot of talking out loud. A lot. I don't remember if Mitch talked aloud a lot. I certainly did. So it felt like I was playing with a teammate. And I talked out loud like what decisions I was making and why. So if you guys are into that, check that out later today. Later today, Eastern Standard Time. It is quarter to 7 a.m. So it will be out today. Right now, it's doing its little processing thing. So it doesn't matter whether I'm doing this video or not. It's still going to be doing a little processing, and you still wouldn't be able to watch it. So might as well make hay while the sun still shines, so to speak. All right, what am I using for something smaller? What was I using? Was I using a needle? I may have been using a needle. Just ignore me while I talk to myself here. There's an old paintbrush is what it was to get in between the smaller stuff. A paintbrush that's all hard. I just need to place this stuff where it goes. So I'm pretty happy with how these night figures came out. And these are definitely old school miniatures, but in my opinion, still pass the test of time. Did I say that correctly? You know what I mean. They're still good. They are still good, so. Oh, how could I forget? And then we also made a video, the first thing when I got there, about what we're planning on running at the next show. So if you guys are in the neighborhood, check that out as well. Now, hopefully I did not bring the curse of 2020 with me. The first year I did that, I went over what we're doing at the next two shows, and you know, the COVID hit. So that everything was canceled and kind of made me eat my words, so to speak. Hey, it wasn't my fault. If it was up to me, they could have kept this thing at home. You know, they could have kept this disease at home. It wouldn't have came here. So, but hopefully I didn't do that. But I mentioned that hopefully that's not the case. So, you know, anybody want to take bets on that? So as of right now, we're being told that the show is going to go on in September. And as long as they don't put any limitations on, you know, having to wear a breathing apparatus or so forth, then we will attend and we'll run a full DBA thing. So. And just so you know, our show, our DBA area at our show, at most, I think we've ever had is like maybe 12, 14 people. And we're like in a hallway, so it's not like we're in some mosh pit of people. So, you know, I wouldn't want to go to a game. I wouldn't want to play DBA in a mosh full of people. So, you know. But the hotel, they were going to run the show, and the hotel had a mandate that, you know, you had to be covered everywhere you went. And I don't need to game bad enough to be covered for freaking 12 hours, you know. It's like, I'll just wait till the freaking mandate's over with. And they changed it because it changes every week. But hopefully we won't have to say, hey, we're going to run these games. And then, yeah, well, we're not going to be able to make it because they changed the mandate back. So. That's all I got. Good morning to you guys, or good evening, depending on where you are. This process that I'm doing right now always seems to take longer than you think it would. But, you know, yeah, I could hurry it along and fudge something up and then have to fix it. I'd rather just take my time and do it correctly the first time. Marco, there you are. Man, early for you. You're only 1 hour difference. You think of coming to the show? That's a long drive for you, man. You're welcome. You're welcome to come. It's not like, oh, we don't take anybody from Texas. We don't have any problem from. As a matter of fact, Jim Chaney moved to Texas. He moved over to the. I'm not sure where. He moved over to the western part of Texas, and he was in Arizona last convention we had, and he drove all the way from Arizona, and yeah, and I think he's coming back. So we'll see. Welcome. And on that question on the um, Holly from Houston, man, there you are. I haven't seen you in a long time, Cine Dave. We should have. I guess Cine could be cinema, but you know, you if you had a nemesis, his name would be Movie David. I guess Cine could. I see Cine and I'm like, oh, cine in Spanish, right? Not the short version of cinema. That's my normal go-to on that. So yeah, haven't had you come by in a while. It's okay. We're still here. That's right, Houston. The only part of Texas that I visited. We almost moved there in 1981. Dad decided to get a job at the University of Florida instead of at Sugarland. I don't remember who was going to work on at Sugarland, but we came to Gainesville, Florida instead of Sugarland, Texas. My whole life could have changed. I don't know if I'd still wear boot. I still wore boots. So supposedly, when I was a kid in the mid late '70s, for some reason I was dressed in cowboy boots. You know, not with the rest of the getup, just wore cowboy boots. I don't know why. I never watched cowboy movies. I still don't watch cowboy movies. I think I'm up to maybe seeing 4 westerns in my entire life ever. Um, and yes, Tombstone is one of them. Um, and it's just not something that interests me. But for whatever reason, I wore cowboy boots in the late 1970s, and I apparently was such a pest and liked to kick other kids that they banned me from wearing them to school. True story. So I'm kind of a dick when I don't get to paint. I didn't paint yet. My kids wore boots everywhere. There you go. It's short for cinema. Of course, yeah. Harvey, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I feel like these nights got done quickly. I mean, maybe not for you guys, but I stayed on them. There's not a whole lot of detail on the figures, which really helps the production value of getting them done sooner. There is one thing I love about Texas. It's your flag. Same thing with the Tennessee flag. Because the Texas flag is kind of like a mini US flag. You know, you get one stripe of each color and you get one star on a blue background. Perfect. Succinct. I love it. I think it's really cool. Same thing with Tennessee. Went up to Tennessee and what did I name that thing? A bowling ball of freedom. It's like a bowling ball with, you know, stars is where you put your fingers in. Brilliant. Those whoever designed those two flags was brilliant. Now there's a lot of state flags that are, in my opinion, ugly as shit, and you know, they have all kinds of writing on them, and you grew up watching samurai and cowboy films with my dad. Yeah. What did I watch with my dad? All kinds of stuff. Hogan's Heroes, man. I'm trying to find Hogan's Heroes. It's hard to find to watch it with my daughter, but that's one thing that I remember watching with my dad. And you know what? I came across one of those. You've seen these articles on Facebook. I don't know if you guys Facebook. Maybe if you don't. If you don't, you still encounter them in other places. And they'll say, you know, 30 worst TV shows ever. And Hogan's Heroes was on there. And, and it's written by some, how can I put this nicely? I can't. A modern day candy ass that just doesn't get it, Yeah, it's just, it's classic stuff, man. A modern day candy ass. A millennial of unusual size. Although now there's another generation after the millennials. I guess that would be like what my daughter's in. I don't remember what the hell they're called. But yeah, we'll call them millennials as well. These people that didn't grow up without the Soviet Union breathing down your neck. A zennial? Written by a dummy. Yeah. That's a great freaking show. I wish it didn't have a laugh track, though. But I remember watching that with my dad. You know. What else did I watch with him? He was never into cowboy. No, you're affected by your parents so much. Now, sometimes it could be like, my dad's a drunk, and I don't want to be a drunk, so I'm not going to drink. Okay, that's not the case. I'm just showing it could be an opposite reaction of what you want to do. It's like, man, I knew how I grew up, and I don't want my kids to grow up that way. So you take the opposite tack, but that's not the case in my situation. So, but yeah, you're affected a lot by them. My dad was never into sports, so I never watched sports. I don't understand how people just sit there and just. I get playing sports, but I don't understand just sitting there and watching other people play a game, you know? So I never got that, but I was influenced by him. Same thing, he was early into history. That's why I got into history. Now he didn't war game or anything like that, but you know, he seemed to know a little bit about everything, and he kind of did it as a hobby, and he was always into learning stuff. So I guess I kind of got that from him, but he was really into his job. Like, he was definitely defined by what he did for a living, and I'm not. So watching golf so boring. Playing golf so boring. I wouldn't, or going to a driving range. That's the wrong kind of range to go to. What am I doing right now? Okay, I am basing the goop method. If you watch my video on how to do my basing, this is what I do. This is Liquitex. I picked this stuff up on a whim. The first 6 Arby's or so, I ended up grabbing sand from work, just regular sand, and got Elmer's glue, and I mixed this paste and I put it on there. But what happened is it didn't have as much. It wasn't as granular as this. This has more. It dry brushes better, and it's already made. So Michael's used to have this stuff. It was like $10 a pot of this. Oh, great! I'm morphing into people from the UK that say pot for stuff like this. I don't do a pot of anything, but this stuff is great. And then Michael's discontinues it. That's what happens with all these products. Like, you'll go and like, oh, this product works really good. Let me use it. Oh, we don't make that anymore. It happens with deodorants, different deodorant smells. It'll happen with this. Well, I can get this on Amazon. So last time I had to order this from Amazon. It happens with spray lacquer. I mean, the testers things have gone through all kinds of different similarities. And they'll discontinue one, or they won't carry this. And actually, the spray cans, that's a nightmare, because I think people in Europe can't even order them. It's a problem with them being shipped. So I do have a Hobby Lobby. That's where I get my stuff at. That's the only hobby store I have. Yes, we have a Games Workshop type of a place, but they don't have jack. And when they do have it, they're out of it. They do a terrible job of restocking. I'm all for supporting local businesses. I'll pay more money just to support them, because I don't want to wait. But if you guys don't have the products, things are just different than they used to be. Tell you about it, right? It used to be when you went to a store that had, a store like Best Buy or, anything, any local store, if they didn't have something, they would go look for it. The last time I went to one of these local hobby stores, I asked the guy if he had something, and he said, I don't know. And then I went and found out that he did, but it was a different kind. It was like I knew more about his merchandise than they did. And that's just like, it seems like the people and that was a couple years ago, so I imagine it's even worse now. But it just seems like the people that work at retail now they they just don't even care to be there. They're too busy surfing on their phones, and they don't want to do a good job. And I get not knowing stuff, but let's at least learn from, if you, I don't know. It's just different. It's just different. I've worked in retail before. And it was like, you try to find an answer for your customer, or, and it just doesn't seem to be that way anymore. And people aren't getting fired for it. Because it used to be, if you didn't do a good job, you wouldn't have a job. But that's not the case anymore, I guess. Oh well. But I would rather support the local people, because you're supporting the local people and you get your stuff now. You know? So, anywho, we're going to put some couple rocks here. And that's how that looks. This is going to take about 6 hours to dry. We should be able to base this completely tonight at the end of the evening. When I used to work at Home Depot, some of us did, but others didn't care. Yeah, and they didn't get fired. I get that you don't know anything. You work there and like, hey, you know where I could find the drywall screws? No, but let me help you find them. And then the next time somebody asks you for that, you know where they are. Or on your way to the drywall screws, you're looking and you see, oh, okay, the ratchets are here and this is that. So when somebody asks you for one of the other items, you work there. I mean, I've worked at a hobby store. I've worked at a grocery store. You figure stuff out. Aisle 10. Shopping at a hardware store. Did the comic Four Candles sketch make it across the pond? It did not, or at least it didn't make it to my port. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was raised, man. If you didn't do a good job, they'd let you go. But now it's like they don't have anybody to replace you. The manager doesn't care either. I don't. So they've kind of done it to themselves, okay? You hire people that don't care, and you have a really bad, and this is even before the pandemic, so you can't blame this on the pandemic. But Best Buy is a perfect example. I never disliked Best Buy, okay? In the whenever it came to town, I don't know, let's say 95, okay? 93, 95, something like that. It was great. There were CDs, and there was, if you weren't into stuff there, and if you didn't have something for you, yeah, they had video games, like computer video games. If they didn't have something there for you, there was something you didn't have a pulse, right? And it was stocked with lots of people, and they had lots of merchandise, and now it's like there's less and less different things. If you want to buy like a microphone for your camera, they have one. It's extremely overpriced. It's like their generic brand, and it's like $50, and you can, made in China. You can buy that made in China item on Amazon for like 10. So places stopped. People started mail ordering more. I think I would never have mail ordered things, definitely to the level that I'm doing it now, if stores had the items in stock. Okay, because it's not like I'm buying that much stuff. I want the thing today, or at least I want to take a look at it. I'm not interested in saving 25% and waiting a week for it, okay? But now, places don't have anything in stock, so I don't really have a choice. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird these times. People say we live in interesting times. No, we don't. We live in annoying times. They might be interesting for people that that aren't from another time. That's what I say to myself. I'm from another time. I'm from the 1980s. Leave me alone. I like the idea of the 1980s. Although I don't think they were really good to me. I was too young, but Four Candles voted one of the all-time best sketches all time here. I will put it on Facebook for you. Yeah, send me a link, Harvey. Absolutely, I'll check it out today. Somebody else sent me a link or put a link on their page of a comedian, and I caught it and I watched it at lunchtime, and it really cheered me up. And this guy was really, really good, and he was totally clean. And it's not that I have a problem with that I get offended by humor, but it's nice when you can see some kind of a stand-up comedian that you can show your whole family. You know, not everything has to be about freaking sex. You know, there's too much cussing. There's too much nasty sex stuff that you can't show your kids. You know, it's not even. It's just way over the top. Deadpool level stuff. You know, not all comedy has to be like that. But this guy was really, really good, and he really cheered me up, and he was totally clean, and yeah. And I don't get offended easy, but I'm just saying, you know, having kids, like, why do you have to? Why is there? You know, you'll watch movies like, why did they put this in the movie? Like that was, you don't go to the movie to see that. Why did they add this in there? You deviants. How do I magnetize my base? Well, this is a Litco magnets, and yeah, then I can grab it and not have to scuff what I'm doing or get it on my fingers and then get it somewhere else. You know, so so I'm a neat freak. About this, I'm not used to painting and making a mess. So like if I ever like paint in 1-to-1 scale, like, you know, like your house and stuff, yeah, it's really annoying for me to like paint a roof, and there's no way you can paint like a roof, a ceiling. There's no way to paint a ceiling and not get little splatters somewhere. And yeah, it's really unsatisfying for me to paint in 1-to-1 scale because I'm used to doing this and and basically not making a mess. What thickness? I'm using the 3 millimeter. This is all they had when I started. They make a half thickness of this, but I like this thickness. Some people are like, oh, I don't like that because it looks like a playing piece. It's unrealistic. Well, I'm not trying to build a diorama. It is a playing piece, and it represents. Just think of it as like a three-dimensional counter. So I like the thickness because when you go to pick it up, there's a chance that you'll pick it up by the edges, not by the actual figures, and scuff them up or potentially damage them more. I like the thickness of it. So if you don't like the thickness, that's cool. I'm not trying to convert anybody, but they have at least two thicknesses for sure. The 3 and the 1.5. Now the 1.5 is more than the 3. That's not why I don't use it. I just started when I started using Litco, they only had the one thickness, and I'm happy with it. So if I was doing say 6 millimeter or maybe even tens, I'd probably go to the thinner one. But that's just personal preference. And I prefer. They also make metal bases, so you could magnetize whatever you're going to put them in, and then put the metal basing looks exactly the same as this. It looks if you put them side by side, you can't tell which one is the flex metal and which one is flex steel is what they call it. Which one's flex steel and which one is the magnet? You can't tell the difference. I bought some of the flex steel to put inside like a rubber container to carry them in my first container for my DBA stuff. But what I found is when you have something, here we go again. I am not a scientist or a science guy, but when you have a piece of thin steel that is a strip and you're trying to glue these magnet things on, you don't have as good of a bond as if you have something that's large like this and metallic and you glue and you move it. This hardly moves at all. That's why I use metal baking trays to carry these guys around in because they are really secure. Again, I don't know the science behind it. This has more density and the ions stick together, but I'm not. Talk to me about maps. Talk to me about history and geography, not science. I'm not that person. So I liked earth science and volcanoes and that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm not into the other stuff. So that's your layman's term is if you use if one of the things has a lot of mass, it sticks a hell of a lot better. So no, the base is the base comes separate. It's two different things. So actually, the magnet costs more than the base. So man, I'm helpful. Well, that's what I'm here for. It is. I'm doing this so that I can stay on track and don't go like, huh, I wonder what's on the internet, or let me go play a video game. I'm trying to stay on track. So these questions are not distracting. They keep me awake, and I'm not a genius, but I've been doing this for a while, and I found out what works for me. So I'm willing to share that. I know other people that I don't. They claim that they paint for a living, and they don't want to give away their. They've either stopped doing a show, or they used to do a paint show and they stopped doing it because they don't want to give away their secrets. And I'm like, I'm never going to be rich off this. I'm never going to make any money off this. Okay, this is totally therapy. And I may say something that I've been frustrated in the past, maybe not with this, but in other hobbies, and basically said, well, I can't figure this out. I don't know what to do. So you put it away and you end up doing something else. So if there's any goal that I have, mission statement. Oh, I hate that term. It's a salesy bullshit term. If any of you actually know me, you know that I am not salesy at all. I would make a terrible salesman. I'd be okay salesman for something that I really believed in, but trying to sell something that my heart wasn't behind, I'm like, nah, you shouldn't buy that. But I don't know what I was saying, but I just tell it like it is, you know. If you just tell the truth, it's really easy to keep your lies straight. So don't send me pictures of you wearing stuff and asking me if this makes you look fat. Uh-oh. I got a horde of 3 mil Litco bases. Yep. Yeah, I happen to like them. And I'm not sponsored by them. I don't want to be sponsored by them. Because when stuff starts going sideways with their quality, and it happens to everybody, I'm going to be able to call them out on them. And since we're on that method, Litco bases have started being not as good as they used to. Well, it's true. Some of them, there's a little bit of a taper from the front corner to the bottom. I've noticed it. It's not huge. It's not enough that I need to contact them about it, but it has gotten not as good. Maybe I didn't notice it before, but see, if I was sponsored by them and you can't talk bad about our company, well, do a better job. I mean, you know how Litco bases would get worse? Everybody stopped making bases except Litco. Competition makes everybody better. It should, or you're doing something wrong. Monopoly's bad. You can quote me on that. Monopolies are bad. Creates complacency. and they've gotten more expensive. I don't have a problem with that. Things cost more. I get it, you know. The main thing is just make sure your quality doesn't go to crap. It's like when you go to a restaurant, okay? If they say, okay, well, there's this restaurant where you normally get this item to eat that costs $10. Well, we have two tracks. We can either use cheaper materials and keep the $10 price, or charge 13 for it. Charge 13, because if you eat a cheap meal, it sucked. You overpaid if it sucked. Okay? Just do not let your quality go down. You know? I get it, you know? It happens. Things are going to go up in price. You can't move things with the diesel fuel prices the way they are and it not be passed on to the consumer. Forget wage increase. Just forget people's wage increasing. Just the diesel fuel costing more. That's what drives everything. Everybody's worried about unleaded gas. Unleaded gas is, you know, for most of us irrelevant because we can control how much we drive. You can't control how much fuel gets burned, the cost of the fuel getting moving things from point A to point B. It's out of our hands, you know, so. And then the shipping to the freaking UK, man, that's just stupid. It's basically at the levels now to the UK as it was before to Europe. Like shipping from everywhere in Europe, other than the United Kingdom, um, that I've ordered from, was pretty much cost prohibitive. And now it's pretty much the same way for the things to the UK. So that doesn't mean I won't order from them, but it's going to make me think twice or thrice or whatever four times is called. Thrice? I don't know what it is. I don't even know if there's a name for it. I'm sure somebody will correct me. You know, nobody wants to pay for shipping. Hide it in the price of the item. It feels like you're getting screwed. It feels like you're paying for something that you're not getting anything out of. And, you know, buying lots, a huge order isn't my way to do it because I already have lots of things. So I don't need a huge order of anything. I don't need to supersize any miniature orders, so. So if you watch one of my painting videos the other day where I overspent, you know, people say don't drink in Amazon. Well, don't drink and buy miniatures from somebody who brings them in. It's all good. He's giving me lots of stuff for free, so I don't mind. It's for a good cause, paying him for them. But I got a huge amount of Goths and Huns. But I'm still going to order whenever I work on those armies. I'm still going to order Huns, maybe only one or two packs, Huns and Goths from Forged in Battle to complement the different figures. Even though I have more than I need just for figure variety, you know, because both of those armies don't have guys that are uniformed or consistent looking. So. Well, I don't know when we're going to get to that. We got this army to do. We've got my Amorites to do. Who I'm really disappointed they didn't sacrifice children, apparently. I got Ammonites and Amorites mixed up, apparently. I don't know. They sound the same to me. I don't know jack shit about either one of them, so I just put them in the same category. Sorry if you people of Amorite or Ammonite descent that don't get along. I put you guys in the same bus. Whoops. But I'm disappointed that the Amorites were not child sacrificers because I had a good idea for a camp. Oh well. At least I found out before I made a really cool camp and then couldn't use it. Well, I'd probably still use it, but it wouldn't be appropriate. Shipping is a ripoff. When I see paper 15mm flags, that shipping is $4.50. Yeah. Unless they're Pete's flags. Pete's flags are worth every penny. I don't care how much they cost. Last time I ordered them, the shipping wasn't $4.50, but those are the best flags I've ever seen. No, I'm not sponsored by him. Hey, I'm just telling the truth. They're freaking awesome. And I like painting flags, but those turn out as good as anything I could turn out myself. I could be focusing on other stuff. Okay, I think we're good here. All right. Seal this thing up. These are just little rocks, anything that will work, just to add a little bit of variety. This is actual black granite from Georgia, I'm pretty sure, because we don't have any rock like this in Florida. We're all swamp, and sand. So none of that here. And limestone, swamp, and sand. All right. Where to now? Let's go clean our tools. Don't leave them in water because these will rust. Of course, I probably left them in water for... Well, luckily, it looks like I got the stuff off for like a week. And then they got rust on them. I just figured they were stainless. Nope. Be right back. I know you guys probably haven't gotten a chance to watch my unboxing because it literally came on, but I'll give you guys a sneak peek of it. This thing is just too cool to keep yourself. And I'm probably going to have to paint this sooner rather than later because the last thing I want to do is give you guys all these ideas and somebody paint it before I do. So I figure I got unless you guys have already bought this, I got like a 2-week head start or 3-week head start on you. So I need to get this done in the next week or so. Okay. So this is an unboxing from, I already did it. There's a video on it that you can see how overjoyed I was when I got this. It's a company, I do a lot of surfing on the internet. And once I found these little skeletons, whatever the hell they are, they're here somewhere because they tie into this thing. When I found this, and I also did an unboxing on these guys. Oh, look, it comes in a little bag here that I'll probably never use. I had been looking for skeletons that are for my Wallachian army because I do have them. They're on my short list. They're not on my super short list, but I'll probably work on them within the next year. Maybe not in 2021, but early 2022. And I wanted guys that had impaled figures, but not impaled through the middle of the body. I wanted them impaled correctly through a place where you already have an orifice to get you a head start, okay? And I found these surfing on the internet, and I'm like, this is perfect for my Wallachian camp. So, Vlad the Impaler. So, once I found that, I had this particular item. I had seen it before, and I hadn't pulled the trigger on it because I still didn't know how I was going to deal with the camp. But once I knew I was going to get these skeletons, I knew I had to get this. So this is a company called Archiminima. They're in Slovenia. That is the northernmost part of the old Yugoslavia. the least Turkish part of the part where the Turks came through there. And they make these architectural models out of pewter. It's the name of their archiminium.com. They sell on Etsy. And this is Dracula's castle. And it, it doesn't have to be pewter, but we're going to paint this up, obviously. And this is going to be not a camp. We're going to use this as a BUA, so a fort or part of a city or something like that for that army. So this is Bran Castle, which I didn't know anything about, and this is apparently the roost of Dracula. And everybody thinks Dracula's from Transylvania. He's not. It's actually Wallachia or Wallachia or some version of that. I call it Wallachia. Wallachia. It's probably wrong, but anyhow, this particular company makes several different castles. They make Neuschwanstein. They make that's probably the most famous ones of the ones that they make. Nobody knows about this unless you're in the tourist industry of looking for vampires or something like that. But they make probably 12 to 14 different ones. They make them in different scales. This one I believe is 1/1000th, but they make them smaller, so they make it even half or a quarter of this size. I don't know what you would use it for, almost like it's for jewelry, but I wanted it as big as you could get so that it has, a footprint. Obviously, it's still in game scale, but yeah, we're going to paint this up like Bran Castle. Now, what we may do, I believe this is on the side of a mountain. We're going to put this on a little hillock. So we're going to put it on a stand that probably has maybe a footprint like this. But it'll be up on a hill. Not super tall, but, maybe that high or something like that. That's at least what the plan is. So anyways, check them out. They got lots of cool stuff. I'm going to order more, but I'm not going to order them now. I've got to earn them by getting this guy painted. But they got a couple Spanish castles that, and I'm not really in a hurry to get them because, I do have another feudal Spanish army to do that I've had for frickin' ever. And, I'll probably do that one, for instance, when I do them. And there's like a French one and an English one and, so forth. But, yeah, they have a Hungarian one as well, but I think this one's going to double as a Hungarian fort as well, because the Hungarians went in there and did that. But this is in I don't know if this castle's in Transylvania, but Vlad the Impaler is not Transylvanian. He is Wallachian. So I'm not really sure how that got tied into Transylvania, to be honest with you. Oh, it actually turns out pretty good on the screen there. That's nice. They get some, yeah, it's nice looking. And just for comparison, let's put a figure really close to them so you can see about what size they are. And yeah, and there's pictures of them online. Like each one of them, depending on what scale you have, has maybe 7 pictures, and one of them is the above view with a centimeter guide, so you kind of know what the footprint is. So I knew what size I was getting. What I didn't expect was how tall it was. So I'm pleasantly surprised with it. I don't remember exactly how much they go for. I want to say it's about $24, and the shipping was an additional $15 or something like that. So it's not cheap. Let's go to Etsy and search for that. Archiminima. I guess this would be considered stealing my own thunder. Go check out my video, even though I just spoiled it for you. Archiminima. Okay. Let's see how much this thing's going for these days. Bran Castle, okay, and this, I want the largest scale one. 27.21 right now to the US. And I don't remember exactly how much the shipping is. Let's say about half the price is the shipping, but it supposedly takes estimated arrival about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. About 4 weeks. And yeah, they got lots of stuff on there. They got lots of stuff on there. They've got a castle in the UK called Bodiam was built in 1385 by Sir Edward Dallin Rig. It's got extra spellings in there. It's just kind of a square castle. They got that. They got Coch Castle, Coch, which is a Welsh castle from. It actually, that one looks French. I could totally buy that. That's totally a French castle to me. Just the way it's done. Oh, this is a relatively modern one. That totally could go for a French castle. What else do they have on here? Sadaba, that's one in the Iberian Peninsula. Ljubljana Castle, that's in Slovenia proper, probably. I believe that's the capital of Slovenia. I could be wrong. Maybe that's Croatia. They're right next to each other. Bled Castle, that's another one that's up there. I believe that one's Hungarian. Liechtenstein Castle. Torre Lobaton. That one's in Spain. Oh, here's a French one. This almost looks like a gatehouse. Donjon de Niort Castle. This definitely looks Gothic, almost Norman. It's what's left of a castle started by Henry II Plantagenet, completed by his son Richard the Lionheart. What else is on here? Newcastle Keep. What else is there? The problem is it's hard to find things. Etsy is great because it goes for individual sellers doing their wares. The problem with it is that sometimes it's not the easiest organized to find everything that's offered. That may be everything that they make. So, for now, hopefully they'll make more. Yeah, and searching for this, here's a Florence Cathedral 3D printed. It's 3.5 inches by. Yeah, this use that for the. That's apparently a popular thing. There's several of those. Anyways, check out Etsy. There's all kinds of cool things there. That's how I find it, man. I'm a surfer for sure when it comes to things on the internet. And let me get back to my page, and we'll continue on with. But I just figured I'd show you guys. Go check out my video, man. Give me a like. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. That's all that stuff is. The liking, I think, is both of them are important for exposure, so that people that just come by get suggested. You know, things that are really popular that people are searching for, they're going to get suggested first. So, yeah. Anyhow, cute little thing. Yep. All right. You have a bunch of 15mm nights I did years ago for a DBMM project that I never finished. I think I'll be making several feudal armies. Yeah, absolutely. You should. All right, let's put these dead people, these impaled people. I had a historical novel read to me about Dracula, and it doesn't get any of the vampire stuff, but it's kind of like the series of Rome on HBO. Like there's stuff you know about them, but there's a lot you don't. So they just like filled in the gaps with like dialogue and stuff. It was on Audible. It wasn't great. I'm not going to recommend it. It was just kind of. I expected it to be better. You know. But But that army should work for Fast and Furious, and Wimp Wars and Soloy Silliness. So that's an incentive for me to build that army. But I'm not working on them now, and they're not next. So because I got to do the Amorites because we've got some Bronze Age stuff coming in. I don't have a Bronze Age army. So, all right, Spearmen. We're going to do them first. Should be 8 of these guys. And just for you guys that are interested in having a hobby day today, it's 7:30 now. I'm probably going to stop about 9:30. I got some stuff I need to do when a couple places open at 10. I want to get in and get out before the traffic gets heavy. Although we don't have a tremendous amount of traffic in the town I live in, but there's no reason to suffer. So you watch the Kings and Generals channel and just watch an interesting one on Mihai, the Brave of Wallachia. Is it Wallachia or Wallachia? It's probably Wallachia, honestly. Wallachia. I enjoyed Crusaders, another great recommendation. Thanks. It was excellent. I thought it was superb. And he is the best narrator because I feel like he pronounced every single thing and every language he spoke correctly. And that's Dan Jones doing his own thing. So he's almost the best narrator. The narrator that did whatever his name is, the guy that did Ghost of Kenai is just awesome. His voice just really, you want to put it down. Dan Jones isn't bad. Have zero problem understanding him. He's one of those people that does not have a hard to understand English accent. What is it? What did I hear the other day it was called? Receive pronunciation? Yeah. Tony is on at a decent time for me. Good morning. Yeah. You're welcome. I'll be on tomorrow morning as well. Girls don't arrive until midday tomorrow, so then the freedom ends. No, I can still do this. It's just a lot easier without having to worry about, being interrupted. And the interruption's really bad just for you guys, not necessarily for me. Just, it's just easier. Let's make hay while the sun still shines. But no, this is a good hobby. Your significant others know where to find you. You're going to be cooped up in a room, not getting in any trouble. It doesn't get much better than that. All right, we're going to just take black paint and try to fix anything that I may have missed. And then we'll roll into doing these 4 spearmen. We're going to do them in sets of 4. I'm going to paint 4 guys at a time. Well, not really. We're going to paint 1, and then see how he turns out. Not that I'm going to have a problem with how he turns out, but that's just habit. It's just when I shoot a video, I shoot like 10 seconds, and then play it back to make sure that the volume is on, or I don't want a technical difficulty. And the next thing you know, like the video's over, I'm at home and it has no sound. So, just a little, I don't think superstitious is the right word. I'm not superstitious about anything. But, yeah, just being safe. Better safe than sorry. I need to go get a protein drink because it just hit me that I'm freaking hungry. I'll be right back. All right. This is my second breakfast. I normally would have had 3 eggs, but I'm kind of gotten out of the habit of doing that. All right. That has a lot less fat in it. Okay. Let's come back to here and see what we missed on this guy. So yeah, I like Etsy because it's individual people selling their wares. That's pretty cool. The problem with it is sometimes the shipping just takes for freaking ever to get to you. It's no fault of the seller, just their. I know the one lady that's out in the Seattle that I've ordered from a couple times for the stuff for the girls' cars that I got for them. Little dangles or so to go for the rear on the rear view mirror. That's probably the best way to describe it. And that she makes herself. It just took freaking 3 weeks to get here, or 3.5 weeks. You know, that's stupid. So tomorrow is here we go. Let's go back a little bit. Thanks to Arkin Minima tip. The Newcastle upon Tyne Keep will be perfect for a camp or BUA for my book 4 British armies. There you go. You're welcome. There's all kinds of cool stuff on there. I'm going to send them a picture after I paint mine. I can't do that on the ziggurat because I didn't buy the ziggurat, so I can't do it on the other one. But Joe can send him a picture of it. But I'll send him a picture of it painted up when I get it done. They may not care about it. They're interested in selling it unpainted, but whatever. Tomorrow is Omatag, Grandma Day. She gets top billing, but the grandchildren will tolerate me too. Tomorrow we will practice our painting skills. Just watercolors on paper for now. They're 6 and 3. Yeah, that's what my daughter does. She does watercolors. Watercolors is completely unforgiving. And you paint exactly the opposite of how I paint. I paint dark and lighten it up. Watercolors, you have to paint light and then darken it as you go because there's no going back. If you make it darker than you want, you're up a creek. That's what you're stuck with. So, yeah. Six and 3. So does the link you sent to the Tetris lacquer work as well as the auto lacquer? Yeah. The only reason I picked the auto lacquer, that was the only one they had. You know, if you've looked at a display of testers, and it's a zoo. You look at a display of a tester's paint now, it's a mess. They'll have acryl, but they'll only have 4 colors, and where they used to have 24. And then they'll have like gloss black, but not flat black. It's a zoo. You know, so just find some clear flat, a clear gloss, and it's from a tester's type brand, you know, something that's made for models, not, you know, I would not recommend using Krylon. It's just too much of an industrial size thing you don't want to destroy the stuff that you worked on. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper. I mean, maybe try it. Maybe you'll have good results, but I haven't had any frosting issues with the small cans, and the small cans are expensive. I mean, I think I paid as much as $6.79 for one of them, and they used to be freaking $1.99 or whatever the hell they were. But they've gone up significantly because when they were $1.99, the minimum wage wasn't 6 times cheaper. So that's people always you gotta take those things into consideration. People always say, "Oh, when I grew up, gas was 25 cents a gallon." Okay, but people also didn't get paid shit. So I still say gas is less expensive now, or maybe a year ago or whatever, than it was in the 1970s because people didn't get shit paid in the 1970s, and the cars in the 1970s were excruciatingly inefficient. So. William Six. He's William and not Wilhelm? Come on! Started wargaming with me. He loves my figures, of course. Wargaming is awesome. It keeps you from being violent in real life. That's for me. Just wait till you guys see the video we filmed last night. Still processing. It'll be out later today. I'll promise I'll put it up as soon as I can. There's 3 battles. It's epic. And I highly recommend you guys try it. This is the Blind General. Highly recommend you try it. I knew it was going to be good. I don't want to brag, but it's John Williams. It's not Johann Wilhelm? Oh, man. You guys are slipping. Got to stay to your roots. My daughter, we both wanted to name her Sophia. But living where we do in this land of Anglos, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I love the country I live in. But people like to dumb things down. Like, for instance, we really wanted to call her, we're really getting off on a tangent. Well, we really wanted to call her Carolina. Okay. But the problem is here they're gonna end up calling her Caroline. And just that's not a my people name, okay? Or Carol. No. This is not a Carol. So I'm like, we can't call her that because they're gonna call her Carolina and or Carol or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, no. So we decided to call her Lena, which is because we wanted to have that to be her nickname anyways. So we just turned it into Lena. And we kept Sophia as the last name. I didn't want her first name being Sophia because then I don't want a Sophie. Sorry, nobody with my background should be called Sophie. That sounds like an old crumpet eating English woman, which is fine if that's where you're from and that's what your background is. I don't know if crumpets are worth a damn or not. I've never had one in my life. It's not like it's gross. It's a bread item. How bad could it be, right? I move with the times. The next time the British troops marching through our area, you want to be ready. Well, the next time the British march through your area, you'll know about it because you've started some shit again. Oh, man. If only the First World War hadn't been fought. If only the British had stayed out of the First World War, right? How would the world be different? I'd say significantly. I'd say the world would be significantly better. And I don't know that it wouldn't be better, but man, it'd be worth a shot. There'd be a lot more people alive, that's for sure. But it wasn't up to me. Just listen for the bagpipes. Okay, so this guy's going to have a shield. These are all going to have the same pattern on the shield. We're going to do the Bologna pattern, which is a white shield with a red cross through it, right through the middle. Okay, So they're going to look like crusaders, these ish. Looks like these guys have like a tunic. And they have sleeves as well. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this guy. This is going to be our guinea pig, and we're going to paint a tunic on him. Um, Phone scammers in Germany scan the phone books looking for old names. Then they know they've probably seen some old biddy. Then they probably have some old biddy on the line. So I'm going to show you some ignorance on my part. Hey, I'm not afraid of saying I don't know this or I don't know that. You know, as long as you're learning, you can't know everything. It's arrogant people that are like, I already know that shit. You know, that's what's annoying. So I'm watching a series several years ago. It's in Spain. It's a Spanish series, and this is probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I was watching it with subtitles because I watch everything with subtitles, and you know they speak extremely fast in a dialect that I'm not particularly familiar with. And this is what are we going to use here? World War II beige camouflage. Okay, also known as this is probably the back. This is probably the base color for the Zeltbahn, the little Zeltbahn tents for the Wehrmacht. Look that up and get an education from that. That's what it looks like to me. Oh, it's German. Yeah, because it's German World War II beige camouflage. That's what it is. It's the Zelt. It's Vallejo's Zeltbahn thing. So I'm watching this Spanish miniseries, and they're going through the names of the actors, and I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored that a good number of the actors don't have Spanish surnames or Spanish first names, but they're totally Spanish. And I'm like, that's really, really weird. Because I just assume that the mixing pot of the world is here and not other places. In other words, I assume that everybody uh, from Spain has the same background. I don't know. Am I making any sense what I'm saying? I just assume that there aren't other mixing pots somewhere else. I don't know. It was really weird to see somebody that was totally Spanish. And I'm not talking about the look because I get it that, you know, people from Spain don't look like, because I know that's my background. I'm not like, well, you don't look like you're from Spain. Well, it's because you don't know what people from Spain look like. But I mean, I'm talking about names. I was surprised that people would have like a German name or almost like an American sounding last name when they're in the old country. But that's just my ignorance. I haven't been exposed to that. I've never been over there. And probably not going to go there anytime soon with the current situations the way they are for travel. But yeah, there's my ignorance. I just assumed that everybody in Germany has a German name, or you know, and then here is the mixing pot where we have people from all places. And of course, you would have a German name because nobody's from this country. You know what I mean. So yeah, that was interesting finding that out. Um, yeah, there he is, the Polish guy. We are Polish, but kids are Tiberius, Martian, and Aurora Ilaria. I guess the Vandals brought the German names. Visigoths. Did the Vandals come to Spain? Maybe they came to Spain also. I got to do that. Well, now I've got no excuse. Now I've got troops to do a Visigoth Vandal morph. Yeah, but this is, you know, I mean, that's where I got my light colored eyes from, I'm sure. But I don't have a Germanic surname. Bah. Hey, my heraldry is a freaking cool. It's like a might as well be a German eagle on a yellow background. So there's something there. But that could just be made up crap. Like the people that came up with the surnames first, they got all the cool picks, and then people like Mitch get stuck with a freaking potted plant. True story. Look up Harbach. It's a damn potted plant, and not even a nice one at that. There's some awful heraldry out there. Oh man. Sounds like the Austrian flag. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I had a decal for a long time on my car. I have one on my hard hat at work that just has a crest with the with the thing on there. Yeah. Should I go get it? I'm on a tear. Why not? Great back. This is one of my most prized things that I have. And this is a reproduction from the actual one that my dad has. And yeah, there it is. That sits at when you open the door into my house. Bam, there it is looking at you. And there's other versions with it double headed or single headed. Um, yeah, it's very Habsburgy. So I love this thing. So yeah, sucks to be you guys that have crappy heraldry. Okay, you have seen from my surname that it's two red stripes and two roses. Yeah, it just depends. It's just luck of the draw. Uh, my wife's maiden name is Sid, Cid, and you would think, oh, from El Cid, that's got to have like a really cool heraldry. Nope. I believe it's a yellow background with a red band diagonally across it. Like, okay, like that's a missed opportunity. That's a missed opportunity right there. But oh well, good stuff. Yeah, my dad had that original one when I was growing up as a kid, and he had it over a piece of furniture. And I remember as a kid, I didn't know what it was. I'm this kid like 4 or 5 years old, and I was always scared of looking at it because it looked, it's kind of sinister looking ish. I mean, it isn't now. It's a freaking eagle. But yeah, I remember being a little kid being kind of scared of it. All right, we need to get a smaller brush to get in here and do stuff. And I apparently had put all my smaller brushes away like an idiot. You idiot. That bird is the official bird of. Why you gotta ruin it that way? That's like a dick move saying that. Lawyers. I don't know anybody that in my family it's a lawyer, and I'm proud of it. Those of you that are lawyers, I'm sorry. The problem with lawyers. The problem with lawyers is that, you know, the thing is, other than they complicate everything, the common conception is that people, they they would represent somebody that was guilty. And I know they deserve a fair trial. Yeah, 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 whatever. I couldn't do it. you know. Plus, you guys make too many freaking laws. So that's that's not always the case. I'm sure there's good lawyers, just like there's some cops that don't eat donuts, you know, but they're few and far between. Generalizations are generally correct. Otherwise, it wouldn't be funny. All right, let me read the rest of your comment. Lawyers. Official bird of lawyers. They're two-faced and can talk out of both sides of their mouth at the same time. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. That's that happens. That's like a Byzantine influence, basically looking both ways, east and west. So, um, I've seen other versions of my heraldry that does not have a double-headed eagle. That's just the one that my dad had. So, um, per bend sinister. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I know that's Latin, and you would think that I would be really good at Latin. No, Latin is not helpful at all. I'm horrible at Latin, so I know that that's I know where you're trying to get there. I'll have to look all those terminologies up. Some of them are, you know, like sable is black, argent is red, right? Um, or yellow. I just azure is the one that makes sense because it's for freaking blue color and it's blue. Um, but yeah, I don't remember those. I don't remember those. I wish they would just speak English. Damn it! Call it white when it's white, not whatever white is. It's something else. Again, I know enough to say that I don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you. The only heraldry thing I do not like is the ermine one, and that's like the little stippling one, the white with the with a black stippling. I don't like the way that looks, so I won't do any heraldry with those guys on it. It's also very difficult to do in this scale. It just doesn't look right. There's some things that, even though they're accurate, just don't look right. One of the things that, man, I haven't really looked into this heraldry stuff because I haven't really done any late medieval stuff. Well, I mean, other than Burgundians, but what's the thing that you're the illegitimate child? You'll basically have the crest of arms, but you'll end up having like a red, or is it a red? It's either a red slash through it or that little banner at the top that's yellow. Anyways, you have something drawn over the legitimate thing, and I find those annoying because it's almost kind of like graffiti like for me. You know, I mean, yeah, that's what happened, but it just doesn't look right. One of them is like a cross through it, diagonal in red. I believe you know, I haven't built any of those armies, but neither one of those look right to me. And one of them is either like you're not the legitimate heir yet, or you know, you're a bastard or something like that. You know, argent is silver. Okay, which makes no sense because nowhere can, you know, maybe if like all the silver in the world came from Argentina, then you could be like, oh, of course, argent, silver, right? But hello, Theo. Now that I know what your name is, that it's like upside downish. That's really cool. They're French terms, which is fine, but I understand a lot of French terms, but not those. They just, you know, they're not. And you know, if I was working on my medieval French right now, um, I would know exactly what those colors are. I'm just not. I'm not doing that right now. It's not fresh in my memory. So, um, yeah. Why the hell is it called argent? Maybe if all the silver in the world came from Argentina, that would make sense. Then you would know. Oh, Argentina, it's the land of silver, right? And you could be able to figure that out. I mean, silver is plata, and Rio Plata is River Plate, and that's over near Argentina. Ha! Got a tie-in. There you go. That's the bend sinister. A bend is a striped diagonal. It starts from top left. Sinister is Latin for left. It implies illegitimate. Wow. Oh. Wait till I tell the wife about that one. Your whole family is illegitimate. What? What are you talking about? Well, the people online told me. You can't spend any time with those people. My wife doesn't talk that way. I wouldn't put up with that voice. I'm not henpecked. We've had people working for us that were, and they were extremely difficult people to deal with because they basically get pushed around when they get home, and then of course they're, an asshole when they're at work. They're luckily not at home, not at work anymore, but I had a couple of guys that worked for me that were that way. One person didn't even grab the job application. His job application, his wife came and got the job application for him. Never a good sign. And same thing. The opposite's true. You shouldn't be bossing your wife around either. It's a conglomerate of, teammates. Yeah, he probably never did want the job. He's like, you're gonna work there. I'm tired of you sitting around watching Oprah with me. You gotta come and get a job, man. Came in and got a job application for him. Guy didn't work out. He was always frustrated, pissed off at the world. That was a long time ago. That was probably 15 years ago. I take no responsibility for what you do with what I say. I don't know. He's going to be knocking on your door shortly. Yeah, look up Harbach. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. I don't make this stuff up. Harbach heraldry. Of course, there's different versions, but I'm going to... Look! It's a potted freaking plant! Give him hell about that stuff. He got last pick of the litter there when it came to that stuff. How you do a medieval German army and put him? We'll have some peasant in the back having that shield. Who's that? That's the guy that cleans up after the horses. I do need a couple more elements for to do my medieval German B list morph. So that's I think it's been decided. I'm going to have a Harbach guy in there with a potted plant. We'll put him in a horde or something like that, like lead guy in the horde. You missed the conversation about heraldry. Well, you could just watch it later. Yeah, we've moved on. Now we're talking about sewing. Where have you been, John? So we did that live video yesterday that we talked about make a camp with a huge Mitch flag. No, it's not worthy. It's got to be a better heraldry than that. Yesterday we did a live video talking about what we're planning on running at the next convention. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled and we have to eat our words like we did in 2020. So, but I am looking forward to using an item that I purchased just before the end of the world happened. And that's one of those little push carts that you can put all your things in that's collapsible. I'll do a video on that as well. I got it from Amazon, but I don't know, it might not even be available anymore because it was, it's like an $80 item or $100 item. And I yet to use it because, thanks COVID, you know, but what's happening to us is our shows, we like putting all our things away back and take them back to the car in between shows because we don't want to risk the chance that something happened and our figures disappear, because not only do they disappear, but you can't even use them in the same tournament you're at, so all of a sudden you have nothing to play with. So we kind of put everything away. So it's a lot easier to carry in one of those little carts, one of those collapsible carts. Well, little, I don't know. It's probably the size of my table. Footprint wise, it's close to the size of this table. Obviously, it's not 3.5, 4 foot tall. But yeah. Talking to my mother on the phone. Okay. Say hi to her for me. Martian mother. My mom went out of town this weekend, so she is not here. She actually moved into a house 7 doors down from us. It's actually really convenient. It's convenient and it's inconvenient. It's convenient because she's 7 houses down. It's inconvenient because I saw that you were doing this or that or the other. Okay, Gladys Kravitz. Good thing we're not up to no good, or it would be really inconvenient. Come on, you guys know who Gladys Kravitz is. The nosy neighbor from Bewitched. Great show. Used to watch that with my folks back in the day, back when it was already an old show. And I think it's available for purchase, but nobody streams it. There's some things that are like old, and you figure, okay, with all the channels that we have, it should be easy to watch, whatever series, right? Like the old Ben-Hur. You can't find the old Ben-Hur anywhere. Now, I don't have cable, okay, because I don't feel like pissing money out down the drain. We've had it before. Didn't watch it. Never have it. Never can watch. The stuff that you want to watch isn't available on the channels you have, and sometimes you can't even purchase those channels. So yeah, I'm not. We don't have cable. But even with Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, yeah, you can't see the. I've never seen the old Ben-Hur to come on there. I want to show it to my daughter because it's cool, man. And Bewitched isn't on there as well. That's a cool show. I never liked Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't like shows where everybody talks like that. America isn't New York. Tell him, Marco. I can handle a show where everybody talks like from Texas, but it's too New Yorky. Same thing with Seinfeld. Never got into it. Now, Friends, I get into Friends. Friends is in New York, and it's not too New Yorky, So, but that's just my opinion. If you like it, by all means, like it. I don't like Ray Romano. It's too much, it's too whiny. So, but if he's your thing, that's okay. I still love you. Comedy is extremely subjective. I could never live in New York. I'd live in another country before I'd live in New York. I've visited there. That's enough. There's some strange cats there. That's why I don't like people talking shit about Florida. Oh, this happens in Florida. This happens in Florida. This happens in Florida. Yeah, because New Yorkers come down. We're fine. Minding our own business here. And I think we've moved into what? Number 3 in population? California's first, Texas is 2, we're 3. Well, we're 5 for a long time. Now we're 3. I think that's right. Despite it being so freaking hot here. But at least if you're at a beach, you don't care. I don't care how hot it is if I'm like wet, you know. If I'm half naked, wet, I don't care what the weather is, you know. And it's fine on the weekends. It's just in a work day. It's just it's damn near miserable. Deborah. That's your mom's name? Yeah, there's lots of sitcoms out there. And some people love ones and other people don't love them. I mean, what's that one that has the huge following? The Nerd Show. I tried watching it. It just didn't do anything for me. Big Bang. Never cared for Big Bang. Oh, the actress on Raymond. What is his his wife? Is that why you like watching it? Are you watching a show because you like some actress on there? I would never do something like that. Everybody loves Raymond. I tried watching a couple episodes. It's mainly his. I can't stand his accent. 9 seasons. I thought it was more than 9 seasons. Patricia Heaton. Okay. She kind of reminds me of the wife that was on that show, Home Improvement. We watched that back in the day. I wish more sitcoms didn't have laugh track. The laugh track is really annoying, especially if it's a show that's not particularly funny. I just wish it didn't, it didn't have that. We watched that kind of stuff as a family because I think we went through Friends, then we went through How I Met Your Mother, then we're going through Scrubs now, and a couple of other shows that are less well known. You like her politics. Okay. She's a Chick-fil-A type, isn't she? I don't really know about her thing. I don't want to talk about politics. People can have their own. I think most people are reasonable. The problem with politics is I think that there's too many people that believe you their side and not the other. And then you need to realize that both sides are lying to you. I think that's the problem. I think most people are reasonable. I think there's a lot of people that probably sit on the opposite aisle of where I sit that are actually reasonable people, but they think that their people are not corrupt, and they are. They're just, what is the opposite side of my aisle? I don't know. I would consider myself a conservative traditionalist libertarian. That'd probably be the best way to describe myself. You can do whatever you want. I think people should be able to do whatever they want as long as other people have the same right. You can't make me like you. If you want to wear, if you want to wear blue pants, and I don't like people that wear blue pants, I have a right to not like people that wear blue pants. And just leave people alone. Do whatever you want as long as you're not affecting somebody else's freedom. You think there's a culture war? You think? You found out the reason for laugh tracks is the audiences couldn't be controlled. Interesting. Patricia Richardson, Home Improvement was very watchable. She didn't do anything for me. It's funny though, if you've noticed his show and then his new show, and his character is totally a polar opposite. His old show, he's basically a buffoon, can't do anything right, you know. And the new show, he's kind of like the wise one. That's really kind of the way it's portrayed. And it's really interesting how they kind of did a flip on that. But his new show's a bit, it doesn't offend me, but it's a little too political. But whatever. There's a culture war going on. Oh, yeah. There's a culture war going on, and some people are still sitting in the, haven't been called up yet. Yeah, stay away from politics. Yeah, let people do whatever they want. It's cool. I see lots of stuff I don't like on the internet. I go the other way. I'm not going to convert anybody. When's the last time there was an argument and somebody said, you have a good point. I think I'm going to go over to your type of. You're not going to. So like, why waste your breath? It's not worth it. You know, I don't go to bat for any politician because they're just going to stab you in the back eventually. You know, they're in power hungry mode. You know, regardless of who it is. Some people more than others. But okay, so we've got his tunic color here. Ma. Okay, and that's all the singing you're going to get from me. And we need to. We need to put some kind of hose on this guy. I think that's what this guy has. Sure looks like it. So I think I'm going to do the sleeves in white. Let's go ahead and just do the white sleeves and get away with that. I think that if the economy ever crashes, it's going to be interesting times because there's a lot of people that are they're biding their time because they're too busy at work and they've got too much to lose. But once they don't have a job to lose, it could get ugly. Oh well, back to figures. I say we settle all our differences on the gaming table. Okay, Harvey, have a good day. Enjoy your Saturday. Hopefully, you don't have to work on Saturday. Meanwhile, Mitch is working. Not yet. He works later, but it is a work day for him. So generally, the fact that he works a demented schedule is probably beneficial because it means that I don't have to give up a weekend day to go game over there. Because weekends are basically family time for me. They're not gaming unless we're going to one of the few conventions a year that I attend. But like this weekend where the girls aren't here, yeah, I'd probably be over there gaming. But hey, we still gamed last night. By the way, how's that video coming along? Let's see. Let's see if I can do this and not screw this up. Nah, we're not going to check that out later because I can't upload it right now. But before the end of the day today, the video will be up that we did yesterday, which is probably one of the best gaming videos we've ever done, regardless of who won. It was still that blind general is epic. It's so good that, 30 years from now, if I decide to make my own set of rules, that's going to be the rule. You're going to roll pips and you don't know how many you rolled until you try to move more than you have and you get stopped by your opponent. It is that freaking good. It is a push your luck mechanism, and some of us really like the push your luck mechanism. So we're definitely going to be doing more of those games for sure. And if you've noticed any of our games, we purposefully avoid the things that most people play. Most people would sit down and play DBA and say, just use whatever army you want. So you show up with 2 power armies. Well, we try to use armies that you guys don't see very often or play in ways that are asymmetrical, so. There's another game that does that. Which one? How did Blind General worked out? It was superb. It was absolutely superb. It's much better than the normal way to play. Because now you have the pip thing, so you can't do everything you want, and then you also have your press your luck mentality. You think Blucher, which is funny because that's exactly the game that Scott said he got the inspiration from. There's got to be other games you can also do that, but that's the one that he said. So, yep, I've never played it. It's not my period. So, yeah, it's Scott's idea. So, he's still going to be known as the River Dancer, though. He still has never played Blind General. Well, Blind General is what we'll call it now. I don't know that, it's short notice for the advertising team, You managed to find a potential equivalent for Tester's dull coat in the UK. Windsor and Newton Galleria. We'll give it a go. It's Windsor and Newton. It can't be bad quality. Excellent. One of the cheap generic ones may work, but it's just, honestly, I think it's just too big of a risk. I mean, I sprayed all 6 nights, right? I'm going to be safely to say that's 20 hours of painting. I don't want it ruined, by trying to save $3, It should be interesting to see Blind General as a solo game variant. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I think you're onto something there. Peter. Be right back. All right, I'm having my one sanctioned Coke for the day. Mainly because I'm too lazy and don't want to make coffee. So, If you play solo blind general and you roll pips and you don't know how many you moved, how do you handle that? How do you know that you didn't go over? Because the whole point is that I don't know. That's someone was giving away some Napoleonic figures and I took them and I want to play DBN. Yeah. Yeah, the tester stuff is being phased out. I'm sure we'll have to find something else at some point. Could I use acrylic? I guess I could use acrylic. It's not that big of a deal. Sure, we'll find something else. If it becomes unavailable. You'd have to have some kind of, if you're playing blind general alone, you'd have to do something that would have like a random number of cubes. And you go and draw one. And if there's one to draw, you've got a pip. But if there isn't one, then you're done. But how would you do that? That would certainly be a lot easier to play solitaire because then you can't decide. Just wait till you guys see the video. It's amazing. And I don't remember if Mitch did a lot of talking. I certainly did. So I'd roll and I'd be like, well, I don't know how many there are. So if there's only one, I've got to do this. But then maybe I want to try to do this. I do a lot of, so I felt when I was done playing, it was a lot more challenging. And I don't know if it was more stressful, but it was good stressful. But I felt like I was almost playing with a teammate myself. I was having a what's the thing where you're multiple personalities moment, because it was like I was talking every single thing out and like logically trying to figure out why I did what I did and the decisions. We'll see. We'll see how Luke handles that. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm naturally an aggressive conservative player, so I didn't think that it was going to be that difficult for me to deal with it, and I don't think that it was because you got to prioritize everything. You can't go you got to do the safe bet sometimes. So there was times that I actually didn't use all my pips up because I didn't know how many more I had left, and I didn't want to hang myself out to dry. And it ended up being fine. It's not like I just stayed there and took it. I just didn't take a risk. It wasn't really worth the risk to hang myself out if I couldn't move everybody that I wanted to in a certain direction. When playing double blind games in the past, it was great fun to see people make plans only to have the referee say, nope, hold it right there. Yeah, that's basically what we do. I think this guy's got hose and shoes. It's hard to figure out what the hell these guy actually has. Let me go to their website. Alternative Armies. That's who they are carried by now. Alternative Armies. And see if there's a picture painted. Not necessarily that I'm going to go with that, but it's another food for thought. Historical ranges. I believe this is a figure that's in medieval. And let's see if I see where he's at and what in the world he has for. That sucks. I was going to order some more figures for him, but their shipping is just out of control now. Your shipping rates. North America. Standard airmail, 12.5 pounds on orders up to 100, then free standard shipping. I'm not going to order 100 pounds worth of stuff. So shipping's about $15. Okay, it's not that bad. I just got to order at least $20 worth of stuff. They sell figures by the each. I'm not ready to buy any yet. All right, back to see if they have a picture of this guy. They do. Oh, and I can't tell what he's got for. Looks like he's got hose and shoes. Okay, cool. And good, they're painting that tunic going all the way up. Man, that spear's long. I don't regret replacing them with them. I like the length of these things. You know, these are like militia guys, you know? Uh-oh. Give me 1 second and we'll get back to this. And even though I said I was going to quit at 9:30, so in an hour, I'll be back. I'll be back by noon, I would imagine. Okay. All right. I'm guessing that he's got like a cough that goes around his neck. Let's see if I can get this a little bit. Should be a coif. Hey, he's got a coif. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it the same color of whatever his undershirt is. In this case, it's white. I'm sure other guys will end up having a red one with red sleeves. So we're going to paint his coif. I know it's cough. I don't like the C letters and they're not pronounced. All right. Probably shouldn't be using this brush. This is like my face brush. But I have a lot of brushes right now, and we need to use these things up because I'm not buying any more of these damn things. Not until not because they're not bad. They're just not buying stuff from that. One of the things I got to do is I got to go do a return. I got a return from something that I order from Amazon that it didn't say it came from China, and I'm not keeping it. So it can go back. I make an effort to. Now, obviously, if I have to buy a vehicle and there's parts that come from there in there, then, you know, I mean, why couldn't it be Taiwan? Make it in Taiwan. Make it anywhere other than North Korea, China. Where else? Yemen, Iran, you know, all the bad places. Not keeping it. Not because it's a piece of crap, just on principle. Hey, if we all did something like that, all their power would be gone. And it's not the people. It's certainly not the people. What are my favorite armies? Chinese armies. They're super freaking cool. They're like the coolest armies. Might even been one of them last night in the video. Who knows? Love Chinese armies. I love their history. But the folks there now, hell no. The folks there at the top now. That's the problem. All right, let's go ahead and do the let's do the spear first, and then we'll do the flesh. We're going to keep this one around. Let's see what else we got here in the. Because I got all these, and then I got two other packages that I haven't even opened. But let's see what we can use some of the stuff for the detail-oriented things. Maybe this one. I trim that little tip a tiny little bit. All right. Color of the spear. Let's go with not that one. This one. This one should be fine. Monster brown. Oh, I don't. It's kind of overkill for this. At least for the first bit. Yeah, the spears that came with these guys were way too long. And, more importantly, they were way too bendy. That was going to be a problem. But, people can buy stuff wherever they want. Money is their life. I mean, think about it, okay? You get paid to do a certain job. You're giving you have a limited amount of life on this planet. You're getting compensated for not being able to do what you want and being there. So technically, hello, you're being paid for your life. Well, you should be able to spend that however you want. I just choose not to spend it a certain way. And if you disagree with me, that's cool too. That's what makes freedom great. Or it used to be, we can disagree about stuff and still be friends. That's all right. So time is not money. Money is life. Tony's Philosophical Corner. I don't believe in you got to buy an American product. No, it could be from France, Germany, Italy. People that have the same value system that we have here, or the same value system that you like. I have never driven a domestic brand vehicle, ever. Has it always been Japanese? It's always been Japanese. Those jokers know how to do stuff, and they take pride in what they do. Now, many of them have been made here in the States, but it's been a Japanese brand. Nissan, a Toyota, and now and today and most recently Subaru. My phone's Korean. Don't have to have American things. Just have to have, buy stuff from people that aren't causing trouble. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to buy a product that sucks. Because it's just dumb. So, things that are made in this country are not necessarily the best from a quality control standpoint. I think I think relatively to say 30 years ago or 40 years ago, the stuff made in the US is better compared to other things in other countries than it was 30 or 40 years ago. I think some people are like, well, if we're going to make it in the US, we're going to try at least to do a decent job at it. And I don't think that was always the case. But at least that's how I think. Made in Germany used to be a warning. Who knew? Really? You guys don't make anything. Well, okay. There's lots of things that you guys make, but it's not imported here. Um, the most common thing that I see made in Germany, do I have one of these here? You know what this is? This is a company called Mr. Clean, and it's a dry erase thing. You put water in, literally can take anything off. This is made in Germany. What else do I have that's made in Deutschland around here? Not much. I mean, you guys used to make like files and stuff. I mean, you guys, like it's your fault now. I mean, it's a shame, you know? Never see anything made in Britain. Never. Around here. And I'm making a conscious effort to I get excited when I see something. I'm like, cool, it's made in Italy or France or somewhere that, it's like a lost friend. Awesome. This is made in. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. So I saw a video because we were really close to getting Volkswagens instead. Would have been our first German cars. The price point just wasn't where it needed to be, and and we needed to get two. So it was really easy to find one for my wife that had they have this car model called an Arteon that's absolutely, in my opinion, gorgeous. An absolute awesome vehicle. The problem is that we couldn't get two that the price point would work because we got a budget. Yes, we could spend more than the budget, but we don't want to. It's just a vehicle at the end of the day. So I did see an article on I think it was presented as the myth of German reliability in their vehicles. And basically the takeout from it is that, yeah, German vehicles are reliable, but they have zero flex. They're less flexible on maintenance, and you have to stay on top of them a lot more than Japanese vehicles. And that's not to say that I'm not going to have an oil change for 25,000 miles. Just saying that you need to do it when it needs to be done, or there could be issues. So, but we lease, so it really wasn't an issue. As far as maintenance, you're not going to run into any issues in the first 3 years. I mean, you with any of that stuff. But almost got Volkswagens. Which the big pro for me of gotten a Volkswagen is I've never named any of my vehicles. I think it never occurred to me to do that. But I think with the German car, and since I know all my Blitzkrieg German, I would have to have given it a name, like something, just for yucks. So we make the things that go into things. Harry's razors are made in Solingen, Germany, but they're not as good as, well, see, Harry is being pushed like it's made in New York, so I guess it isn't. I'd rather buy something from Solingen, Germany than New York, personally. You have Raspberry Pis made in England. Is that an electronic device? I have no idea what that is. Parts of your cell phone, parts of assembly lines, parts of aircraft, so on. Bought Newcastle upon Tyne, keep from Archiminima. 15 pounds and $7 shipping, 21 and 9. Okay. Excellent. I think you'll be happy with it. Hopefully you got the biggest one that they had. Well, they do a really good job of showing you what the footprint is. And I think you'll be really happy with that. Yeah, the next one I'm going to have is I'm probably going to get one of the Spanish ones, or that Welsh one that looks French. It totally looks French. Harry's razors. So I had some given to me. They're still not as good as the other ones I use. What are the other ones I use? I will tell you what that is. They're Gillette. I always want to call them sensors, but they're not sensors. They're these. I can't remember. The sensor was the first one that they made that had multiple blades. Way back then. Way back in the early 90s. These things are spectacularly good. So They're also spectacularly expensive for something that has no moving parts, so to speak. Um, I don't remember what the hell these are. They're really expensive. They're like maybe $4 a piece or something like that. Maybe they're a little less, but they're really expensive. Let me go put it back. I'll leave it here, face down, so I don't cut the tip of my finger and it bleeds for a month. And I'm like, okay, I can Amazon one, can save some money on that. I got them. Looked exactly the same, but guaranteed there was some Chinese product because when you shaved with it, it felt like a dull razor. You were pulling all your hairs. It was horrible. So I don't care how much it costs. I'm buying it at the store and buy the original and buy the real ones. I don't remember what this brand is called. I'll find it right now. They keep changing the names on things and they keep adding like battery power. You don't need none of that crap. Just give me like four blades, good quality, and I'm good. The Harry's ones aren't bad. I think that these are better. Gillette razors. Let's see what they're called. Fusion. That's what it is. The Fusions. Best ones I've had. The Harry's ones weren't bad. The Harry's shaving cream's good. Um, yeah, but any of these ones that have a lot of blades on them are just as good. The Sensor was the first one that was really, really good. Um, so, Raspberry Pi is a single board computer. What? Use in education. The mother country did good on that one. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Single board computer. Intrigued by their construction kits. Oh, you're talking about Arkham Enigma? Man, I gotta go to the little boy's room. Damn it. I'm drinking too many liquids. Be right back. Yeah, I get excited when I see something that comes from, France. You wouldn't buy Gillette anti-male ads. I've not seen any. I'll take your word for it. You just got to give a little. Well, you can do whatever you want. I'll use a company. There's one company in particular that I do not like their politics at all. Okay, and that's Starbucks. But I buy their coffee because it wakes the dead. But I don't like I don't like their politics. But at some point, you're like, okay, well, there's politics and then buying stuff in China. And in the last 2 years, I'm basically in my own personal war with them. I'm not going to buy any Chinese. Yes, there's Chinese products inside electronics. Well, I'm not going to become a Quaker, or I'm sorry, not a Quaker, Amish, and not use any electronic products. Okay, but I'm going to at least think about what it is before I absolutely need it. Um, and if it's something I don't really need, then like brushes. Once I run out of these brushes, my brushes will now cost $25 a pack instead of four. Okay, I mean, fortunately, I can afford it, but I'm not going to buy their stuff anymore. I thought of actually taking all my Chinese brushes and just making a video where I just break them in half and throw them in the garbage can, but that doesn't solve anything either. Um, um, but yeah, in the last 2 years, I've ever since the COVID thing, ever since the COVID thing is the worst thing that's happened for the world in recent years, and the best thing that's happened for the communists. They solved all of their All of their protests in Hong Kong all of a sudden miraculously disappear. How convenient. You need to go indoors. You can't protest. It's for your own good. How convenient. It's pretty obvious what's going on to me. So, and I don't listen to talking heads or none of that stuff. I just, I'm not going to buy their stuff. So, won't go to the dollar store. Not going to go to Walmart. I don't buy stuff at Walmart. I don't go to Walmart for multiple reasons that even predate COVID. So, yeah, I don't like Starbucks, politics, but you just gotta, just like there's people that don't like Chick-fil-A's politics, but they like their sandwiches, so they go there anyways. You gotta. Their ads were a disgrace. Well, now I've got to look them up. I bet I wouldn't like them either, but uh, that whole thing that came out, what was it, like a year ago, where they were talking about this particular product and that training thing? Who knows if that really even happened? I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not buying that much of it. The stuff is good. You know, I'm having one a day or so. Pepsi had me, and then they changed their sweetener. They suck, you know? So, all these big companies are, who knows what they're really pushing, who knows what they're pushing to try to get a couple more sales, to try to stay relevant and controversy. And I can't say that I don't see ads. I don't watch television. So, all right, I've got my little homework assignment thing here. All right, what are we going to do today? There was a comedy show that I was told about that I need to see across the pond. What is that? That was at the very beginning. Let's write that down. This is part of my homework assignment. Four candles. All time. Okay, so we're going to do four candles. Four candles sketch. Okay? And then we're going to look for Gillette ad. Okay? I'll report back to you. Yeah, the only ads we see if like we're watching something on Hulu and they have the same repeating ads, and they've got all kinds of weird stuff on there. Like whoever's designing some of these ads, really, I mean, I think that the whole point is just to stay relevant, because they do a really bad job of selling their products, in my opinion. It's almost like, well, we got to get something out there. For here in the States, it's the insurance commercials are just atrocious. Like, why is there insurance commercials? Why is there commercials for medicine? You know, you agree with John Carter. Okay. Anti-mail ads. Oh, well. They're just jealous because we're in control. Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm all for equality. Yeah, but just because bad stuff happened to people a long time doesn't mean I need to pay for it. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not here to pay for somebody else's sins, okay? That's not, I'm not willing to do that. So, and you can try to make me feel bad about something that happened to your people or that my people did to your people way back when, but it's not going to work on me. I didn't do anything to you. Now, if I personally did something bad to you, okay, I get it, but hey, you don't pick who your mother is, and you don't get to pick where you hatched it, so. Yeah, it makes you wonder, do these companies really believe in that stuff? Or are they just doing it to be relevant, get a few more sales? The perfect example is that whole, you guys know what my background is. Well, my dad basically fled from Cuba in 1960. Thank goodness. Thank goodness he did that. And I didn't have to be born there. But I'm against anything Marxist. And it doesn't mean that I like what what people claim is the opposite side of Marxism, which really isn't the opposite side of it. They're very similar. They're just different. So anything that uses iconography with a raised fist, even if it's potentially for maybe a good cause, I'm against. I don't do raised solidarity type fists because that's bad iconography for someone with my background. You know, it would be like along the lines of somebody that was Jewish and said, oh, well, no, no, no. The Hindu swastika is a good swastika. Same thing, bad ideology, okay? Bad imagery there. You know, you're not going to sell me on it. So I don't care what kind of popular movement you have. If it uses a raised fist, Tony out, okay? Not marketing to this person. So you just noticed that Tony has the same laugh as Jimmy Carr. Another homework assignment. I bet I'm better looking. I bet I paint better. Okay? He's probably funnier. I paint better. Maybe we can make a good team. Is he single? British comedian. Okay, speaking of British comedians, you guys across the pond, do you guys find Richie Gervais funny? Because I don't. I don't like comedians that don't laugh at their own jokes. And it doesn't mean that they have to laugh all the time, but if it's deadpan delivery all the time, it's like it's too canned. I don't find Ricky Gervais funny. And really, is he a British comedian? I mean, he has a French last name. He's an island French comedian, not an English comedian. Oh, okay. Jimmy Carr will take some getting used to. Uh-oh. That's not a bad thing. I don't know what that's in reference to. Having just looked at the ad, I 100% agree with you, John. Oh, I gotta look that up. I probably won't like it either. I don't like ads that make me feel bad about something I didn't do. Like, what I do to you, dude? Lots of people in the UK. What's the Scottish dude? Connolly, right? I talk about somebody you got to listen to with subtitles. I don't think I was able to follow along very much. It's a little bit too much of a accent. He seems to be a popular one. My daughter loves the Monty Python stuff. Ministry of Silly Walks. The scene on the Holy Grail where the peasant's beating the cat. I'd missed that, you know. And she just laughed. It got me rolling. Do I have one laugh? I don't know. I spend so much time on videos with Mitch that I don't even notice my own laugh, if you know what I'm saying. Actually, I didn't notice that he laughed so much until people brought up, man, Mitch laughs about everything. I'm like, he does? Well, yeah, he kind of does. He's a happy guy. Whatever that means. I haven't seen him upset very often. I get upset all the time. It's my Latin blood. I just don't get angry when you guys see me because this is all good, man. It's like the perfect vacation. It's gaming. What could go wrong? Well, somebody could come in and stomp on your figures, but I mean, other than that, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Who cares? Gervais, an acquired taste, had followed his career from early on when he was on late TV and radio. His comedy relies on trying to make fun of taboo subjects, much like Jimmy Carr. Well, I like making fun of taboo stuff. If you took Jimmy Carr, took away his British charm, and took his humor a notch lower, you would have Andrew Dice Clay. Hey, he needed the money. Yeah. Carlin. Always like Carlin. And I like comedians that get angry. I could relate. Lewis Black is funny because he gets angry. I don't agree with his politics, but he calls both sides out. Um, um, who else? I can watch somebody that I don't agree with their politics and still say, it's not like if I listen to their politics that I don't agree with, they're going to convert me. It is what it is. But there's fun to be made fun of anything from, yeah, taboo subjects is good. I like talk about inappropriate comedy. Daniel Tosh. Daniel Tosh. Well, he reminds me of somebody I used to work with in his look, not necessarily his delivery, but I like his humor. He takes something inappropriate and makes an inappropriate comment on it, and then walks back an apology and pours gasoline on the fire, makes it worse. And I really I like that kind of stuff. I like that kind of. I don't know if he's still on anymore, but. If you need if you need subtitles with Billy, I do. I do, unfortunately. You can forget Frankie Boyle. Near the knuckle comedy dealing with subjects that can be uncomfortable for most folks. Dislike Frankie Boyle, unfunny. Dislike Jimmy Carr, unfunny. Well, I will tell you what I think about them. Frankie Boyle, okay? Oh, my boy Frankie Boyle. Carlin went from stand-up comedian to a pop hit. that a good thing, or he was just like a all of a sudden? His stuff always made you think. I need to see some of the Carlin stuff and have my daughter see some of it. I need to proof it first. If it's just bad language, she can handle it. If it's more colorful than that, and I don't think he was very colorful. I think he just had, the words you can't say and stuff like that. She could handle all that stuff. She could handle hearing someone say that. She's in high school, as she says. But that's classic stuff. What's the plan for the shields on the spearmen, Tony? We are doing heraldry from Bologna. You know what? We're gonna complete one guy. I'm not making really great progress because I'm enjoying you guys' company too much. That's not a problem. That's a good thing. But we're gonna finish this guy all the way through, and you can see kind of what my vision is for him. It's gonna be a white shield with a red cross in the middle of it. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'll give it another once over and kind of and make sure that that's what I want to do with all these guys. Because the other unit's going to have the papal keys on it, some version like that. I didn't want both of the units to have the same shield. There's a lot of city-states that sided with the Pope one time, then they sided with the Holy Roman Empire another time. I'm pretty sure that Bologna stayed pretty much true to the papal cause the whole time. So it is a mercenary army. So that particular shield is really common. Florence used it as well. Milan also used it. Because when you think of the Milanese, you think of the Visconti stuff with the serpent eating the kid. It's on the actually, the two shields from Milan are on the Alfa Romeo badge because it's split in half. You've got the Visconti serpent, and then you have the red and white cross on the Alfa Romeo because I believe that's where they are. They're based in Milan. That's all I can afford on an Alfa Romeo is talk about where they're from. They don't charge me for that, but I don't need a $90,000 car. All those comedians are mouthpieces for BBC woke culture, but that's like pre-woke, isn't it? I don't know. I can listen to woke stuff. I'm not going to be converted. Woke is the other communists. Oh well. Why can't we just make fun of each other and get along? All right. Let's do some hosiery on this guy. We're going to use this blue-gray for his... Will the spear have individual heraldry or the same across the base? The same across the entire base. All four will be the same, but each individual figure is exactly the same pose, and they'll be different. They'll all be like mishmash, like, hey, I want to fight in a battle, but I don't have a spear or a shield. Will it take care of you? Just I'll bring a jacket and wear some tights. Okay, I'll be back in the morning. Sorry, it's all I could come up with at short notice. That's half the fun of gaming stuff. I'm not going to play Asian armies if I can't make fake Asian sounds and voiceovers when things happen that are hilarious. If that offends you, you probably shouldn't be watching my channel or playing with us. It's not made to offend any freaking Asian people. It's fun. If I really wanted to get down on Asian people, I wouldn't build their armies. Their armies are awesome. Their history is really interesting. But I'm gonna do those little voiceovers when it is when something hilarious would happen to them. That's just who I am. That's how I was raised. That's the time I was raised in, and I don't make any apologies for it. You know? Like, people are going to find that offensive, but putting sex and comedy for that's a kid's show is okay. Like, the hell's wrong with you people? So I don't do woke friendly gaming. It's that's a cancer that hopefully in my lifetime will die off. I'm not from this time. And as you get older, they tell me I'm getting older. You just don't give a shit what people think about you. You know, you're like, other people speak their mind and I don't agree with them and I shut my mouth about them. Well, I'll be damned if I'm going to be quiet about everything myself. You just, you know, if you want me to, if you have the right to say something, then I have the right to say something too. You know? Hey, I was raised with comedians like Don Rickles and stuff like that. I mean, he made fun of everything. And there's some hilarious stuff. We need to go back to that. Things were a lot happier back then. All right, let's get to white and break this up a little, brighten it up a little bit. That's somebody that I know that was posting that they had issues with his game group with people being offended by things. So, well, don't invite those people back. You know, we're here to have a good time, man. You know, I don't care what color you are or where you come from. I'm going to make fun of it when the time's appropriate, and it has nothing to do with me not liking you. It's just that's how I was raised, and I would expect you to do the same to me. You know. Okay, the hosiery is done on this guy. We got shoes, a belt to do, a shield. Let's just cut to the crap and just do the shield here. Let's let me do a small search here. Okay. Let's do a search for. Let's go on the Merliton site, Merliton Miniatures. I like having a computer here. It's handy. And we're going to go to flags and shields, paper shield covers. Oh, and we want to go, let's see if it's in full SATA here. Because that's the one that's the closest date to the time period that we're doing. Cremona and Modena. Well, I would love to do those. But those were Ghibelline cities. For sure. So we're not going to do that. Okay, so we're going to do a... Right. Red background with white. Got it. All right, let's go ahead and paint one. So you guys can see where we're coming from on that. It's high time to paint the shield. Let's go ahead and do... Let's paint everything in a gray. Whole front is going to be painted. Well, this particular brush is outliving its usefulness. Let's go around the edge too. And for good measure, we'll do the back side in this color. In case I forget, it might actually look okay. The paint that I use is very, very watered down, so I'm not going to get any kind of clumping or, man, you made it so thick there. That's not really an issue. All right, let's get a red down. Out of my way. Flat red will work. Getting close to 9:30. I don't have to quit at a certain time. I could just be like, I'm having fun. I'm going to finish this guy. And I may do that. It's not like I have to leave at a certain time. I just don't want to. People are just naturally lazy and get out of bed. I get out of the house on a weekend way too late. I like being out. I like to be out there and kicking ass. I mean, I wake up at 4. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day because I need an hour to do whatever the hell I want to each morning. I don't want to wake up and go to work. And then I just decided, if I can wake up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, why the hell can't I wake up on the weekends too? And then I can do whatever the hell I want before everybody's awake. And it's just kind of stuck. I went too thick at the bottom here. I'll fix that in a moment. You're not going to be able to see the red hardly at all. But that's what this guy's going to look like. So now you come in here with red. Add a little bit more. Make sure it's kind of even. And then build it out from there. When painting straight lines, it works better if you pull towards you. And no, I don't want it in the middle. So we're going to leave this alone. We're going to rinse this red out and then go back to white. Now, the interesting thing about this airbrush thinner is I've added, like you can see some red in here. If this was water, it would end up tinting whatever I'm doing a little red. But for some reason, it's almost like it doesn't stick to other colors. It's really strange stuff. And in a good way. Um, in a good way. It has a little bit of oil and water type of thing where it doesn't really mix with the paint that's there. Maybe it does alter it the tiniest of bits, but it sure doesn't seem like it. So that makes my life a hell of a lot easier. It's just kind of the way I describe it is it's kind of like re-wetting drops for your brush. It keeps the paint from drying as much on your brush and not having that control. How did the daughter swimming meet go? So they had two events to do, one yesterday, one the day before, and they definitely placed in the lower part of, I think there was like 20 teams. And I think the best one that she did was, a lot of people got disqualified though. Not a lot of people, but at least 3 or 4 in each event got disqualified. If they if they made the top 12, they would go into semifinals, and they didn't make it in either one of them. Which, they're competing against people that are older than them by a year or so, and that have been doing it a lot longer. And and they practice. Those other teams practice every single day year round. That's just too much of a commitment for our daughter to do that because school and stuff comes first. It's not like this is what she's going to be doing for a living. It's a hobby. But I didn't go, so I would have had to take a week off for them to swim in 2 events that I watched live, even though I wasn't there. And it would have been a mess. We're just too busy. So, as a matter of fact, for my birthday, I was planning on taking 3 days off, a Thursday, a Friday, and the weekend and a Monday, and it ended up where I just took one. I just took the Friday off, which is too busy. It's too much work to do ahead of time and too much to fix when you get back. Unless it's absolutely necessary. And I can't do any of my job from home. Which is good and bad. It's bad because I can't work. I can't work in comfortable clothes like some of you can from home. But I also don't think about my job while I'm not there. So. But the last 3 weeks have been a nightmare of changes and people not even knowing. There's too many people in construction that just shouldn't be in it. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. And, and by the way, that storm is coming this way. I mean, that's just it's not going to affect us other than more wet weather, which we don't need any of. Let's see where the hell that damn storm is. Oh, NOAA. Fortunately, where we live, there's not much of an issue with that. Oh. Hurricane Center. Okay, yeah, it's over there. Which way is it turning? Well, what the hell's the speed at it right now? Arrival. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. That's the thing that they're the most off on. They almost always think it's going to move farther than it does, and it's almost always slower. Where's the? I can't tell what the speed of it is right now. 75. Yeah, but it's going to go over part of Haiti, all of Cuba. It's not going to be anything when it gets on the other side. It's just going to be a lot of wet weather. So I wish it moved faster so we could get out of here. I don't have to deal with it on Monday on Tuesday. Oh well. It'll be what it is. The worst thing about a hurricane here is how people act. I got to get fuel for the car. It's just people just get stupid. And if it gets too busy, I'll just get it tomorrow. I'll wake up at the ass crack of dawn and get it tomorrow. People just act like idiots. I feel like the pictures always turn out like crap when we try to do it on the video. I don't want to use yellow. I'll use white to brighten this up a little bit. All right, this is how we're going to leave this thing. We may tinker with it later. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get ready and head out. But what do I do for a crust? What do you do for a crust? Huh? I don't know what you mean, Jared. What do I do for a crust? I eat my bread with crust. The crust of bread is bread too. It's the same stuff. Okay. Well, so we're going to go and do what we need to do, and then we'll be back a little later. And before we get started next time, I'm going to make sure that the video is properly uploaded and so forth. It's uploaded. It's being processed right now by YouTube, so it's going to take a little while, and then we'll have that up. You guys will get if you guys subscribed, of course, you'll be notified that that's happening, or we'll post that also on Facebook and what have you, so you guys know. But definitely want to check out that video there with the blind general. That's blind general to be continued until we have a better name for it, but because nobody's really blind. But yeah, those were some good games. So okay, folks, until next time, we'll see you a little later. It's almost 9:45 on Saturday morning, and we should be back around noon or so, our time. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.